August 13th, 1978. Torrey Pines State Beach, San Diego, California. Four teenagers set up a small campfire by the ocean. Among them was 16-year-old Barbara Nantais, a cheerful, bright high school cheerleader, and her 17-year-old boyfriend, Jim Alt. They laughed, listened to music, and watched the waves. It was supposed to be a calm summer night, nothing more. When the night grew cold, their friends, Richard Cielga and Cynthia Enko, went to sleep inside a nearby car. Barbara and Jim decided to stay near the water, laying out their sleeping bags on the sand. The tide came in softly. The sky was filled with stars. But before dawn, that peaceful night would turn into one of San Diego's most shocking crimes. Around 6 in the morning, Jim woke up in agony. His head was bleeding. The sand around him was dark with blood and seawater. Confused and disoriented, he called out for Barbara, but she was gone. Jim tried to crawl toward the road for help, not realizing that just a few feet away, the nightmare had already revealed itself. Moments later, Barbara's body was found near the shoreline. She had been beaten, sexually assaulted, and strangled. The brutality shocked investigators. It looked like the killer hadn't only wanted to murder. He wanted to cause pain. What made the case even stranger? There were other campers, surfers, and fishermen nearby. No one heard screams. No one saw a thing. Jim was rushed to the hospital with a fractured skull and severe head injuries. He survived, but his memory of that night was gone. He couldn't recall the attack, the sound, or even the moment it happened. For investigators, that meant the only living witness couldn't remember the crime at all. Police searched the beach for clues. Footprints, objects, blood traces. Barbara's belongings were scattered in the sand. But there were no fingerprints, no weapon, and no clear evidence pointing to anyone. In 1978, forensic technology was limited. DNA testing didn't exist, so detectives had almost nothing to work with. Over the following months, police questioned local drifters, a few surfers, and even people who lived near the beach. No one fit the evidence. At one point, suspicion briefly turned toward Jim himself, since he was the last person seen with Barbara. But his injuries made that impossible. The case stalled. Eventually, it was marked unsolved. Barbara's family kept her memory alive. Her parents placed flowers at Torrey Pines every year on August 13th. For them, justice never came. Through the 1980s and 1990s, detectives reopened the case several times, each time ending in disappointment. Evidence had degraded. Witnesses' memories faded. The trail was cold. When DNA testing became possible in the 1990s and 2000s, investigators hoped for a breakthrough. But by then, most of the physical samples were too damaged to analyze. The case was revisited multiple times by new detectives, but no match, no confession, and no suspect ever emerged. To this day, Barbara Nantais' killer remains unidentified. Barbara was 16, a teenager full of dreams, a girl who just wanted to spend a summer night by the ocean with a boy she loved. That night ended her life and left behind one of California's most haunting mysteries. Even now, nearly 50 years later, the question still echoes with every wave that touches the shore. Who killed Barbara Nantais and why?